Hey everybody, this is Eric, and we're going to be going over the Jersey Jam Fest from this past weekend down in Neptune. We're going to look at the games from a statistical perspective, make sure we're tracking the way we want. We'll take a look at shot charts, maybe a couple of clips. We're not going to focus too much on the wins and losses, but we did have two wins and one loss. Better to win than lose, I guess. But we're trying to get into the internals a little bit to make sure that what we're doing on the court is going to translate to um, to tougher games as we get into the live period and things like that. So let's first start with the shore shots game. And remember what we're trying to do here. The goals are effective field goal percentage we want at about 50%. Uh, and in this game, this is exceptional. I mean, it really is exceptional. For you guys and your age group to do a 59% effective field goal percentage it's amazing. I mean, that's no one's going to beat you when you do this. However, the offensive rebound percentage was also really good. This number, this 26% turnover rate, that is really, really not good. Um, if you had kept this to even a reasonable number, you would have blown this team out of the arena. Okay. And this, unfortunately, your age group is extremely important. So that is something we continue to have to work on during the course of the season and, well, the rest of your lives, honestly. But this number is too high. But this effective field goal percentage is quite remarkable, actually. Very, very nice job. Let's take a look at the shot chart from this game. Um, and what is excellent about this is the lack of bad twos. There are only 3 shots that were taken from this bad area, and out of 44, that is excellent. Now, I don't know whether you're doing that on purpose to make me feel good or you're just doing it naturally, but nonetheless, we'll take it. This is extraordinarily good. If you can keep that number, 10% of your total field goal percentages to be in field goal attempts to be these bad twos, then you're really, really doing well. And this usually translates to the good effective field goal percentage. So nice job. Let's take a look at the individuals in this game. Okay. Let's look at from three. Kyle, 3 for 5 from three. We're not expecting 3 for 5, but we're expecting good things from you there. Jake, welcome back. 2 for 6 from three. That's absolutely fine. Okay. Remember, if we want an effective field goal percentage of 50%, that means about 33% from three. So that's perfectly okay. Jadis, sorry. 1 for 2. Good. Christian, didn't shoot the ball that much. Not a big deal. Let's take a look at the turnovers. So we did have, and here's the problem. We had 4 turnovers out of Pavlos, 3 out of Ryan, and 3 out of Jordan, all the bigs pretty much, and Kyle as well. So we do have to kind of probably click through here. Pavlos, let's see what these turnovers look like. So that was like a straight travel. And what I'd like to do is try to distinguish the turnovers between the errors in skill and the errors in focus. Okay. So that's one thing that coaches and you guys can look at is which of these errors or turnovers was a result of bad offense. In other words, maybe it's bad scheme. Maybe the coaches put a bad offense in, okay? Or maybe it's just bad skill. Maybe you're not strong enough to make these passes. Or maybe you're just not focused. And those are just different animals. So that's why I like to click through these to take a look at them. Now, I'm not going to judge, what is what. That's for the coaches to do. Okay. But again, this is way too many turnovers. And it almost cost you a game. And this would have been an incredible shame, okay, to have a game where you play where you play like this and you shoot like this and you make incredible decisions like this with your shots and lose because of this terrible turnover rate. So this has got to be addressed. Okay, move on. Here's the loss against New Jersey Panthers. I can't imagine you did great with 41 real life points. So yeah. So 36% effective field goal percentage, and obviously you're not winning, you're not beating anybody with that. 21% turnover rate, again, a little high. And in this particular case, we had a 25% offensive rebound percentage, which is not good. So you really failed on all three. And when you fail on all three, that's usually going to result in a 20-point loss, which is what happens. Now, it's possible that they were that much better than you, um, but maybe not. Let's see what this effective field goal percentage kind of looked like. So, like for example, we'll pull up the chart. New Jersey Panthers, and see this is what's not good. Now, I'm not saying that you wouldn't have lost if you were better from shot selection, but this doesn't help. 6, 7, 9, 11 bad twos out of 47 shots. That's just no good. You just have no hope, really, of having a good effective field goal percentage when you shoot like that. And let's look at it another way. Even though you weren't that bad, like 1 for 2, 2, so 3 for 8, 3 for 10, 3 for 11. So you not only were you 25, just over 25% from this range, but they're only worth 2 points, right? I mean, you were better from three. So why on earth would you take these shots that are only worth 2 when you could take just as poorly or just as well from three? Now, again, the other problem with this is these finishes at the rim. Oh my God, 5 for 15. So, I mean, it's possible these guys were just really big and you were intimidated. But what you could do is you could click through this and see. I mean, are these guys big? I mean, should we be missing all this at the rim? So we can click through here. See, when I first saw that you guys got out rebounded by a lot and oh God, and that you missed all these at the rim, I thought these guys were just big and huge or something like that, but it doesn't look that way. I mean, these just look like, I guess that had a little bit of size, but yeah, I don't think there's any world where you're supposed to be missing all of these at the rim. I mean, that barely went in. So, yeah, so that was kind of a shame. I don't know. Again, I don't know if you would have won, but there's no reason for you to have lost this game by 20. That's for sure. Okay, let's take a look at the box score, the individuals here. Oh, you didn't lose by 20, you lost by 11. Sorry. But yet still, I mean, let's take a look. All right, so Nick did a nice job from 3 for 7. Again, Christian struggled trying to score. Ryan 1 for 2. So, I mean, overall, the field goal percentage wasn't that bad. I mean, it wasn't great, but I mean, Kyle, 0 points. I mean, 0 for 3 from 3. That's, given your role on this team, that's just obviously not going to work. But I mean, overall, I thought the shot selection was fine. 4 turnovers. Let's see this, Jadis. You get to be the one that in this video. Let's see what we did here. Uh-oh. Then we just got to embrace it. Can't. That wasn't too bad. How about this one? Yeah. Let's see what we do over here. Ooh. Yeah, you got to work on that. See, with those, okay. Why are these not bad? I'll do a whole series on this. Like what turnovers can be prevented and what can. So let's look at these last 2. So this right here, where you picked up your pivot foot or whatever. Let's look at this again. Hold on. This one right here. So that's actually a skill issue. In other words, it's not like you lost your concentration or anything. That was like a skill issue. So that's something you can actually fix. You can't fix that on the spot, though. You got to get to the gym and make sure you don't do this in the future. Okay. What I'm worried about, yeah, same thing there, are the turnovers that are because you don't pay attention, or they're focus-based turnovers. And fortunately, I don't think there were that many of those for you, Jadis. So it's kind of like good and bad. It's bad in that you can't fix it right away. You got to just get to the gym and work on it. But the good news is it's not as if you were spaced out and not paying attention, which is what 60% of your guys' turnovers are about. You just didn't have the skill to pull this off. That's all. But that's okay. All right, so let's go to the last game, and that was the pure game. And this was really, really good. Okay. You had 51% effective field goal percentage, which is right where I need you. You had a turnover rate, which is really low, and that's awesome. If you put it all together and got rebounds too, then it would have been kind of a perfect game, like as I like to say. Um, so you needed, to do a little bit better on the glass. But the good thing is there's not too much you can do about the offensive rebounds. All right. I mean, there is stuff you can do. You could send guys to the glass more. You could, from a coach's perspective, you could, instruct them to crash weak side a little bit more. I mean, you could yell, rebound or get more, but that's not going to help. Usually the rebounding issue is just size that you're not going to be able to deal with. Unfortunately, I mean, you could do some things schematically, but not that much. So let's take a look at the shot chart. So what do we got? 4, 6, 7 out of 47 bad two. So not good. Okay. So as well as you did in that first game with the shot selection, you didn't do so well in the other two. You made up for it in this game with just kind of like just good shooting, I guess, in general. But I'd love to get rid of these. Okay. I would love to get rid of even here. You shot a little bit above average, 2 for 6, 3 for 7, but you were 3 for 7 on shots that were only worth 2 points anyway. So you're going to be tracking below that 1 point per possession that you need. So again, the more of these that you scratch, the better off you are. Let's take a look at the box score of this game. We'll look at the individuals. Nick 1 for 4. Christian a little bit better offensively, especially with the 3 assists. Yeah, definitely better. Ryan, nice game, 2 for 4, 2 turnovers. But the turnovers you guys kept at a minimum, right? So pretty good. Pretty good effective field goal percentage. Would have been better with a little bit better shot selection, but pretty good field goal, pretty good effective field goal percentage. Pretty good, as far as turnovers go. Nobody had more than 2 turnovers. Nick with 2 steals. That's good to see. And as a result, you came out with the win. I mean, you couldn't rebound it all too well, but they probably had a lot of size. That's the way that goes. But overall, I think it was a pretty decent tournament for you guys. I mean, your stats in 2 of the games were really good. One of them were just okay. But even the one that you guys lost by like 11 points, you just got beat on the glass, right? And you couldn't finish at the rim. That was kind of the issue over there. Anyway, let's take a look at the stats for the overall season and see how we're tracking. We're up to 10 games. We're getting there. So effective field goal percentage is a little bit lower than I'd like it to be. And again, when I say I'd like it to be, these are the numbers that you're going to need specifically to compete for wins in those tough tournaments. That's what you're going to need. It just is. So you got to do a little better. What can I say? Turnover rate within the range of outcomes, not bad. Offensive rebound percentage within the range of outcomes, not bad. So you're right there. I mean, you're literally right on the verge of being good enough statistically to compete in these types of tournaments. You just got to improve a little bit your effective field goal percentage. And one thing you could do is to continue to work on that shot selection piece, because that is something you can control. Okay, you're not going to be able to control, on a day-to-day basis how well you shoot. Okay, you can continue to work in the gym to get better, but on a day-to-day basis, you can make a dramatic change in your efficiency by just committing to taking good shots. Right? That doesn't take skill to do that. Anyway, let's take a look. And this is something I like to look at, the shot chart for the season. So the shot chart for the whole season, and let's count these bad twos manually. So 6, 8, 13, 23, 34, 50. So you have 50 bad twos out of 472 field goal attempts. So you're a little bit high. I'd rather you be 10% or lower. This is not the worst, but you definitely need to get below 10%. And let's take a look at the individual stats. Again, for an individual perspective, I want to remind you guys of what you can do, what you guys are aiming for as individuals. Well, if the team needs to have an effective field goal percentage of 50 and you want to contribute to that in some way, you've got to be able to either shoot 50% from two or 33% from three. And that translates. Uh, if you can do both, then you're really up there. But at least if you could do one of the two, then you're contributing. So let's take a look. Let's see how many of you guys are better than 50% from two. All right, like some of you. Jordan's above 50%. Kyle's above 50. Kyle and Nick are on the border. Okay, so you guys here have got to finish a little bit better. From three, who's over 33%? Pavlos, small sample. Ryan, small sample. Kyle, 31. I mean, it's within the range of outcomes. I mean, you make your next shot, for example. Think about this. If you make your next shot, you're at 33%. It'll be 12 out of 36. So we're a little light as far as threes go. Christian, 23, Nick, 22, whatever. So we have to find that 3-point threat for real, you know? And in the meanwhile, when you're getting to the rim, you just got to get all the way to the rim because you got to finish a little bit better. It's pretty much it. I think you guys are doing well. I would give you guys, listen, I'm not like these teachers nowadays that throw out A's like to every Tom, Dick, and Harry. I mean, I think you guys are legitimate C plus the way you're playing. I mean, as far as your commitment to what you need to do. And that's pretty good. I mean, C plus in my world is not bad. Takes a lot to get an A out of me. Just because again, like the turnover is too high, the shot selection is probably like a C, and C relative to what most people are doing is pretty bad. It's pretty good. So C is not bad. Hopefully, you can get up to a B by reducing those bad twos to less than 10%. You want an A? Give me a perfect shot chart. You know what I mean? Give me a perfect shot chart with nothing but open threes and layups, and then we'll talk about it. And if you don't think that's possible, I want to show you. This was the 2026 select teams, so like the B team, whatever you want to call them. In this game against Olney, this was the first perfect shot chart of the season. The only one for all the crown teams. This is what I want to see. And needless to say, this translated to a win. Not as if they were playing a terrible team either. And it's not as if they even shot the lights out. But they put themselves in a position to win. They outperformed their skill level by excelling at this type of thing. Anyway, you guys are doing well, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys again. And that's going to do it.